harpy.
If it isn't Skywalker's filthy, obnoxious little pet.
How nice of you. Tell you what, I'll give you a merciful death.
Well, at least this is an improvement over the last, I guess.
No, it isn't, you get.
I think it's apparent the age in these episodes at this point, especially if you've been keeping up with the Star Wars content over recent years with the likes of Tales of the Jedi and The Bad Batch. Not to discredit the work that was put into them, they are pieces of art in their own right, but damn do they pale in comparison to what we have now.
You're goddamn right.
This episode is certainly a good showing for one character and a good insight to another. As usual, let's run through what occurs in a galaxy far, far away, shall we? This episode follows on from the disastrous attempt at comedy that was the No Darth Jar Jar episode, and plays past the parcel with Nute Gunray, who is handed over to Ahsoka Tano and Luminara Unduli to be brought into Republic custody. Ahsoka has been sent out to learn from Luminara temporarily, and this turns out to be quite the mission indeed. Elsewhere, Dooku sends Ventress in to retrieve Gunray, through fear that he'll blab about Separatist secrets and involvements within the Trade Federation.
Secret? I got a secret!
As Ventress is dispatched, Ahsoka proves to be taking a little too much from Anakin's teachings, as she utilises impromptu aggression to scare Gunray into talking, which almost works but becomes a concern to Luminara and should raise some red flags regarding Anakin, but we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist apparently, so oh well.
You fool.
As Gunray prepares to talk, Ventress strikes and infiltrates the Venator, sending in a squad of droids while she makes a run for the detainment area. Luminara goes to support the clones against the droids and leaves Ahsoka with Commander Gree and Captain Argaius at the Senate Guard to monitor Gunray. Ventress stops off at the core of the ship to throw detonator charges everywhere before making it up to Ahsoka's position and engages her in combat, where Ventress easily overcomes her and manages to release Gunray and tricks Ahsoka into his cell. Luminara makes it back with a small squad, and after being surrounded, Ventress detonates the explosives and sends the ship into disarray. She makes a run for it after displaying some impressive skill against Ahsoka, and Luminara proceeds to follow her, instructing Ahsoka to stay with Gunray. Ahsoka disagrees with this decision and later leaves to support her after debating such actions with Gree and Argaius. Once she leaves, however, it's revealed that Argaius is an agent of Dooku, and gets into a fight with Gree over the release of Gunray. Commander Gree manages to become victorious in this before Gunray knocks him out of his blaster and they get away. While all this transpires, Ventress almost manages to kill Luminara until Ahsoka turns up and saves her. Ventress manages to escape, leaving the ship to begin falling apart, and Gree informs them of Argaius' betrayal and that he got away with Gunray. As Argaius jettisons off and picks up Ventress, who got out in an escape pod, he gets a little cocky and it leads to him being skewered by Ventress.
Worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
The episode ends with Luminara and Ahsoka discussing the next move with Anakin and Yoda, who suggest bringing Master Kit Fisto into the fray. In comparison to part 1 of this seemingly disconnected arc, this is already a vast improvement, as there's no trace of this moron. However, on its own, it stands pretty well, as a good showing for Ahsoka and Ventress. Narratively, it's simple but effective. They make a move to demonstrate Ventress's capabilities, and leave some intrigue to her character which will be explored later in the show, whilst working this around the background plot of Gunray being chucked around from pillar to post as the reasoning for her appearance, and she really does shine in this, being proven to be more capable than most would believe, and bizarrely it's just getting better for her from here. The Machiavellian nature to her is intriguing, as you know she's an assassin, but there's a complexity to her that's revealed over time. Ahsoka proved to have a wider understanding of her opponent's abilities in this, which was a great development to her character's journey, as the villains that she'll go on to face throughout the years of the war become tougher and tougher and a truer test of her mettle. She admittedly demonstrates a poor set of people skills when dealing with Gunray, which does make me wonder, why have the Jedi not questioned anything about Anakin's teaching?
Wow, cool, wait a minute. The fuck?
We do see Anakin use very similar methods later in the show, which, at that point, as she's grown up, she expresses a disappointed expression towards. So you could say, at least for now, this is a learning curve. The lack of trust that Luminara showed in Ahsoka's assessment of the situation is a small crack in the Jedi's overconfidence, where they believe at times they're almost invulnerable and that their shit doesn't stink. Just because Luminara is a Jedi Master doesn't make her any more competent than Ahsoka, especially against a wildcard like Ventress, someone she has no experience against with such untamed rage. It was good though to see that a Master can still learn, especially someone who's revered within the Order as much as Luminara is. However, it is interesting to watch the Clone Wars and have this acknowledgement in the back of your head that the attitudes of many of the Jedi start to become a little more controlled as the war wages on, and they don't pretend like they understand or can control everything that's happening. The lengths that Dooku goes to remain in control throughout the war is proven once again with Argaius, previously with Slick in the Christophsis arc. A member of the Republic Senate Guard is an interesting move, but not as shocking as, say, with a clone trooper. I'd imagine as members of the public being brought in as guards for the Senate, this is likely to happen and could easily be turned with the right amount of zeros.
Money!
The last thing of mention is the determination of Gree, a clone trooper that many may not be aware of, but it's the same one that Yoda decapitates in Revenge of the Sith, is shown to be fiercely loyal here, but more to the Order than Luminara herself. I like seeing the varying degrees of loyalty that troopers show in the Republic and how flexible they are regarding this. Compare this to someone like Rex or Cody and just imagine how they would treat this situation. Gunray is, as usual, the cowardly piece of shit he's always been, and I'm grateful that he's not a massively reoccurring character in this show, but overall, this is a solid addition. The visuals of this episode are fantastic for some of the earlier seasons, the deep saturation and lighting helps with some of the atmosphere, and the sound design really goes a long way to support it as well. That's where I'm going to leave it for now though. Hit the like button, smash subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you in the next one. May the Force be with you.